Hello ladies and gents, I am Different, and welcome back to From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire Community Edition. In this episode, I am going to be deploying a load of monk lizards units, and that is these hovercraft. These 6 hovercraft, and also I'm going to be redeploying the Krakatoa Hull Mark II into another force. The reason for that is I want to combine these helicopters with the designs are from Richard Dastardly last episode to create a lightning hoods killing machine, which will then advance quickly across the land, clearing out as many tiles as possible. The Krakatoa will slow that down. This is because in the last few episodes I have been losing quite a lot of ground, and so with the help of Richard Dastardly and Monk Lizard, we've worked together to try and get a better design. Well, I've been failing miserably, and then they've helped me out creating those designs. This will hopefully prevent the need to go and capture quite as much, because I do realise that isn't necessarily as interesting as watching some of the awesome vehicles battle it out to the death. So without further ado, let us spawn in the first, the Type A. So straight away we've got a load of missile launchers and some Gatling cannons there, which are all ejected, so that is good. Fairly slow on the rise, I guess, but it is looking quite nice. Very, very cool aesthetic here with the tilted rotors. Fragmentation rounds and a good few missile strikes there. Able to avoid the majority of shots due to being a flyer, though against the lightning hoods it will take damage, but it should have smoke now. Also, hopefully those are inertial fused, so they will be able to avoid the shields which the lightning hoods have. So staying a nice distance away. I wonder if this is actually lure controlled or not. Let's have a look. No, it looks like it is controlled via ACBs. It's turning mainframes on and off to operate in this fashion using strafing ACBs. A very nice little feature. Next up we have the B. A little bit more expensive. This one seems quite a bit tougher though. A lot larger missiles in there, some EMP in that. But it doesn't look like it has any cannons at all, just a very, very large array of missiles. Just turns round rapidly, and that is a really nice salvo. Some long-range missiles there, EMP cracking through, and there goes the rest of the projectiles. Not doing that much damage, but EMP won't really against Taipan, probably because it's got a lot of heavy armour in, and heavy armour is brilliant as absorbing EMP damage. Against those designs which do not have lots of heavy armour, this is going to do very well, and even with all that heavy armour, it is still AI dead. Very nice. Looking forward to seeing this in combat. Type C is very similar in cost to that. It has radar buoys and a very large side-mounted cannon. Yay, it's an asymmetrical design. I do quite like asymmetrical designs. They are very rare in From the Depths. Though it is an odd design, it's not an even asymmetrical. That makes it really messy. Doesn't seem to want to be hovering, but doesn't matter. Let's spawn against the Taipan, see how it goes. I just didn't want to fly up properly. Probably just landing because it's no reason to be in combat. Good array of fragmentation missiles. The cannon is fairly strong. Yep. Small bursts. Doing a good amount of damage there. Good fast round and plenty of missiles in all of these designs will definitely be able to overwhelm any LAM systems the Lightning Hoods have, and those LAMs will hopefully be drawing off the main power supply, reducing the effectiveness of their weapons. Moving on to the Type D. Do you like all these little aesthetic choices, having that, it's like sensors and stuff? We'll have to really incorporate some of these into my designs. Really like it. So this has an array of several short barrels, small guns, and an array of simple autocannons there. Oh, and mines. Okay, so this is more of a bomber version. Right, let's see how this performs. And yes, it's a lot quicker. So it's firing a barrage of shots at long range, which are actually really quite sturdy shells, goodness. Just put it into weakness and it has taken destabilizing shot there. So it is more vulnerable, but those shells are quite strong. And if it does get to deploy those mines, that will be incredibly strong. It looks like it's not wanting to because it's flying unstably. Let's load in another one, see if we can try and get those bombs to deploy properly. Didn't want to deploy them. Still, even with those main cannons, that is pretty strong. And then, if we all in doubt, it just decides to ram. Yeah, I'll just deploy them manually. Oh, it has that. The other one's deployed them. And there they are. They're skittering around. Won't be so good against the Lightning Hoods, I will admit, because Lightning Hoods being hovers. But if the vehicle survives long enough to be in other combats, it will definitely do well against everyone else. On to the Type E. Again, a barrage of big shells and cannons this time, it seems. Yep, big barrage of cannon shots there. And long-range cannons also firing. Fragmentation warheads on those, and then the big other shells to fire afterwards. Fragmentation design seems to be doing more damage. Those time shells will be good against the hoods, where if it goes slightly past them, it can break off the thrusters, destabilizing them and making them flip over, which has proven to be a very, very effective tactic against them. And that is now AI dead. Now finally, we have the Type F, the cheapest of these helicopters. It seems to be more of a command ship. In fact, it might just be a command ship. It looks like this one is a command ship and doesn't actually have any armaments itself. Yeah, no weapon systems there. So, not really a combat vessel, but it's still quite nice. Lovely design, and hopefully we'll actually be able to do something in battle. We'll definitely be able to act as a support and keep me supplied with resources. But let's head over to the campaign and deploy all these vehicles. Split those off. Krakatoa 1 and 2. Actually, they're moving at 16 seconds, so could probably just merge them together. Move them up to join that force. They were moving a lot slower, so I wasn't going to utilise them in that regard. But let's jump over to here and then spawn in. I was just going to spawn the Krakatoa in at the other force, but looks like I can actually just jump in over here and load in all of Monk Lizard's helis. Right, so all the helicopters have been spawned in, and now a lot of repair, because all these tanks do have repair tentacles. So that is awesome. So send them in to actually repair properly. Keep the hauler nearby though. So actually the hauler needs to go refuel. So it is basically out. Maybe we should work on a pipeline. I said that last episode, didn't I? Or the episode before. I keep saying it. It's worthwhile considering. But yeah, all those are now being repaired up nice and quickly. Krakatoa is moving up to join this force up here. Right, there we go. This force is built up and ready to go into battle. Some of these designs, I think, are saying they're moving very slowly, which is saying it's only moving at 3 meters per second. Don't know what's saying it can only move at 3 meters per second, because everything looks like it's moving at over that value. Let us attack this tile. All these designs are basically immune to being eliminated this battle, because the Delta Plan and the Nixon Mini don't think really had a chance when they last fought. Can't remember if they were repaired or not. I think they were, but giving them benefit of the doubt. So let's have a look at 3rd Community Force fighting off against this tile once more. Let's just organise the forces a little bit. A few planes and a few other ones. I'm going to increase the battle size up to probably 25k. I think 20k has been a little bit small for some of these battles. So do outnumber them, which is good. Let us begin the battle. Pause as per normal. So I'll let everything spawn in. And so what are we facing? We're facing 3 flyers. The simple laser hover. And that there, okay. Straight away, laser all firing against this poor thing. One with lots and lots of guns. Okay, so like shooting at things with guns. Immediately, I can't remember which one it is. I think this is the E. The E has been taken down almost instantaneously. That is leaving everything else to fight pretty much unhindered in this battle. One is AI dead. Let's quickly check to say that everything is ignoring salvage. It is. That is good. Flares going off all over the place. Great design decision there. The other helicopter is quite heavily damaged. Helicopter's absorbing most of the hits for the rest of the force. Not too much in the way of anti-air in these forces. And I must remember to actually spawn in the anti-air one. I didn't really consider that. Well, I was expecting the helicopters to do a lot of the anti-air work, but they got focused down so heavily by the laser fire that it didn't really come to anything. Let's move that up into the order of play. Let's jump on the next main battle tank to repair that one as well. Good strong hits from particle accelerator there. Seems to be doing a lot more damage. Though I think that's something to do with the fact that it utilises fleet power supply. So when I spawned it in by its own, it didn't really operate optimally. The battle is being spread out over quite the range now. Designs are operating but falling to pieces. 2 damaged there, hopefully. Yep, that's one of the hoods. And that one is AI dead there as well. Excellent. All lightning hoods being eliminated there. So there is a Lux in this combat force. That is something I would like to try and capture. I know I said I don't want to try and reduce the amount I do in capturing, but considering the elites are worth so much, being able to capture them is just amazing. So it's shooting at the anti-aircraft one, on which I spawned in to fight it, and it is basically stripped off all of its armour already. It looks has a lot of lasers. This looks just gets away from combat so quickly until it actually gets disabled enough. So let's just go and try and repair things up a little while. So it's still firing against that poor anti-aircraft unit, which is now returning fire. It repaired itself enough and then opened fire, firing a considerable barrage of shells towards the Lux. Excellent. Lux is actually just getting torn to smithereens now. Actually in this tank here. I'll have to do a battle just purely from tank commander position. Be quite fun. Certainly a very different perspective. Lux though is disabled, so hopefully I can capture it. Because if I can, that is another massive amount of resources. Because the last one essentially allowed me to build this entire combat force. The entire design of the Lux is around about 280k, so even the slight capturing of it is really good. It's 2 damage though, which is a shame. I might still be able to capture some of it. It didn't change colour, so, and it went to a red mark, so no, didn't manage to capture it. Still definitely worth trying. Next load of Harvers are active. This time easily able to operate and fire down at the lightning hoods. As I suspected, the attacks destabilising a number of them before they're able to operate properly. So that just leaves this little thing. Oh, there is something over there as well. I think that's the drone, isn't it? Immediately fragmentation shells start pinging off the shields. The mines are dropped. And here come the huge array of missiles. I often give missiles a bit of a bad rap, but goodness, when they strike like that, they are a thing of beauty. They look cool always, though. And that is basically it for this poor little thing. Just going to bomb payload dropped over it as well. It's already 2 damaged. Battle finished. Excellent. So, in that battle, what was lost? I think the Type E? Yeah, the Type E was lost. So, it's a bit of a shame, but otherwise it did very well. Just need to remember to spawn in and at least one of the anti-air vehicles in the bout. Still going at 3 meters per second. Ah, the Type F is moving at 3 meters per second, so I will remove you. No, I think I will just despawn you. You're not really useful for this battle. I know I'm not using designs which have been submitted, but at this point in the game I do really need to be operating with essentially pure combat vessels. Even some of the ones I'm utilising at the moment I need to consider, do I actually want to operate them in the same way that they are. Ah, this is useful. I have 2 resource zones right nearby. And there's Pass and the Copper Wind Plateau. Both those will be very useful for getting additional materials. Let's send the 3rd force over to this hood's force. Right, so what we get spawned in this time. Make sure to spawn in... Probably, let's spawn in the Delta plan. Over probably the Type E. Type E will definitely come in, but I don't want it being an initial spawn. Due to the fact that it was taken out so readily previously, because it was just massively focused. So I think that will be a nice force to be reckoned with. So let's begin this battle. And in this one, let's actually observe the battle from inside one of the tanks. Yeah, the particle accelerator tank. So, tank eye view. Also, remember to remove the interface. That's something I keep on forgetting to do. Ooh, nasty slicing up the front of that tank, but the repair tentacles on tank here seem to be doing quite well. Delta plan, I believe that's over there, is doing a fair amount of work against the lightning hoods. I'm very glad I spawned it in to start with at this time. There goes the Delta plan. You can see the blue tracer rounds going over there. Helicopter is absorbing a remarkable amount of damage. Particle accelerator on this thing keeps on firing, doing nicely. That doesn't seem to be doing anything anymore. Let's go carry on watching the battle. The weather's getting worse and visibility is getting terrible. When it picks another target and that target is shielded, yikes. Ooh, wow, that is a nasty array of lasers. Whee! Another enemy has spawned in. Just observing the battle, not going too much into the depth of what is going on. Good grief, that did not last long. Excellent, battle finished. So this time the Type A was destroyed. Overall, very happy with the result there. Resources are still doing okay despite the couple of casualties. Let's move on and attack another tile. So this looks like it has another Lux. Yes, it does. Looks like there might be... Ooh, there's 2 Lux. Ouch. Okay, let's begin this battle. This could be really rather painful. Actually, I'm going to head over towards where the Lux spawn in, because if we can spawn in on top of them... Oh, it looks like they're both going to spawn at once. Oh no. Oh goodness, it looks so expensive it will only ever spawn in on its own. And the hover though, this hover just took a real beating. Instantly crash landed in front of it. The Type A. Down to 70%, churning itself to pieces immediately. Yikes. The Dodge plan took a real beating as well. A missile. Ow. I looked at it too close. Yikes, so it's taken out a couple of vehicles already. It is a very, very expensive vehicle. Clocking in at almost the entire value of this force, since I used one of them to build up this combat force. I think Richard actually worked out the cost of all the vehicles he submitted was around about 270. So yeah, they're all of them cost less than this one vehicle. It's kind of ridiculous when you put it like that, isn't it? all the tanks, not the halvers, but all the tanks cost as much as that one. I'd rather have all the tanks. It's the LAM system's operational, so it's shooting down all of those missiles. Well, let's try and get close to this and capture it. Of course, by the time we get over to this one, the other one's probably going to spawn, and this one's going to despawn as too damaged, or damaged enemy terrain or something. Moved so quickly despite it being broken. I'm going to get in this and get killed instantly, aren't I? There we go. It's mine. Excellent. Looks Turnier. Draw it from the fight. And with that gone, all the rest of the forces now jump in. Simple lasers are really quite nasty. So I'm not sure there's any defences against them, because I don't think they count as lasers. I think they're just a hit scan damaging weapon, not a actual laser, so I don't think smoke or absorption shields do anything against them. And material cost is going up though, which is material is going up, which is excellent. So despite casualties taken, I am actually gaining materials. Laser sitting while in smoke. Wow, what the? I just got splattered. Warping there. Doesn't seem to have it too much. It's meant to. It seems to be trying to warp against missiles, but it gets hit by them regardless. So seems a bit pointless to me. There we go. Now EMP, it should be AI deaded. If we just sit here, it should be become mine. Just get in here. What the? Mine. It doesn't look like I can retreat that. I wonder why I could retreat the other one, but not that. Because it says it's blockaded, but I thought the other one would be. Maybe it's just because it's proximity to the enemy forces. No, because the other one literally had a vehicle on top of it when I removed it from battle. Maybe the centre of the shield? Maybe? Okay, these two are 2 damage. That means the Luxotonian is going to be spawning in any second. Let's see if we can't capture the thing. Okay, I'm literally inside parts of it, but not where I want to be. I think it's part of the laser system. So if I destroy this, it'll be good anyway. Seems to be actually just trapped in there. There we go. I'm now out. Okay, let's try and get inside where I need to be. Flip upside down. Oh no! Almost did a portal thing there. falling up than falling down. What my lasers hit my intellect? I didn't know we even had any lasers. Something must be armed with lambs. Those big lot of block count and a lot of weapons makes it a very, very, very significant target. I can't believe how quickly it moves when it's grinding across the floor on this. At least I can, you know, follow where it goes by the breadcrumbs of destruction. I cannot see anything going on. My enemy is 2 damaged, so let's go over and observe what's going on. It's a bit of a shame I spawned so badly inside it, because it was a perfect chance to capture it. I spawned in the wing, yeah, spawned in there. But yeah, if I could have got to the middle, I could have captured it almost full health, which would have been a stupid amount of resources. Good amount anyway. How much I'm getting? It's going up and up and up and up. Just observe at the side to the left when it does disintegrate how much I capture from enemy vehicles. There we go. 13,000 from from enemy vehicles. That's just from that. Yikes. And you're 2 damaged. Really? Is anything left there to be 2 damaged? So the type is destroyed there. Need to something else I managed to capture. Firefly. How much is worth there? Another 10,000? It's rather good considering it was just a normal craft. And how much is Lux? 140k. You know what? Let's go for another battle. There we go. So that's I just really wanted to get that resources. Because I didn't want them to, the enemy to pick it up during this battle, which can happen, and then I would have lost all that wonderful material. Let's go with this battle. Might make the episode a little bit longer, but do what you want to advance this episode. So let's go for a slightly different lineup this time. This time let's get the Nixon Mini and put the light artillery up nearer the top. There we go, so a slightly different lineup. Let us begin and see how this one fares. I thought I'd spawn the helicopters at height. No matter. Probably not high enough, I guess. Big array of missiles, though, coming out from all those helis. They love shooting up these helicopters. We'll need to find some sort of replacement though for them, because by the looks of it in next episodes they will be taking severe casualties and then be getting a lot smaller in combat force. The next episode I do want to improve the other forces, because this one has had a lot of use, but it has been mainly quite a bit tailored to be able to take on forces as quickly as possible. And it's good. I do need to do that at points in order to win the game. It's not fully tailored, it's still mostly retrofitted designs for adding a lot of smoke for fighting the hoods, but these simple lasers don't seem to care about that anyway. Lightning hoods use a lot of ion engines, which is nice and all, but it does make them inefficient, I guess. Because, yeah, you could just halve the number of ions in here, and with jets, and that would make them cheaper. And your little thing is quite heavily damaged, particularly when you just have a simple laser just slice through your entire hull. Yikes. Definitely need to make a vehicle like with simple lasers like that. They're insane. Yeah, it's very short ranges, but as soon as you get in that range, they're incredibly potent. Two damaged. Another spawn. Yes. Here's what we got. Axolotl. Streak. Axolotl spawns in. As missiles had already been fired. Detonation above knocks off the entire turret. This thing is neutered already. And it deployed smoke, so even if it was firing its laser, it would be doing less damage. That leads the streak, firing lasers in all directions. A couple of missiles hit it early though. Good, because it's able to fire pretty much everything of my forces. And wonky lasers are actually quite potent due to the fact they have a chance to charge up. But 2 damaged already. Even no matter how potent it is, when it's facing off against an entire 25k combat force, it doesn't stand much of a chance. Wow, 60 material salvaged from enemy ships. Let's pull all. Type A was destroyed again. Or it was never repaired. That might have been the case. Might never actually repaired it. Got combat forces coming up from the flayers now. Have to utilise this extra time to go and take on as many as possible. Just work my way around there. So send this force over there. Kill those. Work out all here. Excellent. Taken out quite a few tiles with minimal, well, no casualties due to them all being showcased, well, without any fighting. But I'll have to end the episode there. So thank you very much for watching this episode of From the Depths, Ashes of the Empire campaign with myself and Diffin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Also, be sure to check out the rest of my channel for more From the Depths videos and other games, and swing by my Discord channel for more direct interactive chatting. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye!